Need to unmute. Okay, good morning. So we'll do the prayer to Manjushri. Lamandang gumbo jamba yang lan chansa lo kange lonje dimnyen tindal nitar namda rasa wen jinyen dengwen jijin sij nidje tu gar lek bam zen kanda sibe tsundar mari mendum dungal jizir wen rozo kun la puchi tat Yen lai tu ju yang den son ruk tar che dro nye mo nye long le ji cha dro ndol zi ma re men zel dong ai nyu gu jin yin chun zi ral jin de nen da jin sa ju ta zin yen den lu zo ja zi tu vi chu cha chu dan chu nyin jin de da le men zi Jambe online de Mara Pazana 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 Umara Pazanande, 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 Den, Zenden, Jiji, Chenra, Vezerenji, Dale, Timomem, Razane, Kadan, Denji, Shonlo, Tobai, Lodre pobe na wa tsandu so desu sonje tongje jingo ridan jingo rinjan zenjabda kadin zonda maji ba palo jinche jinja becha jindo jima meba langu vera dodo de gozungu wa chimbiongo nen chanza jinjab zuchiyo shiwa nen serab tamjido tuji jesu zimbaranze duso kangi shazondo ye mingom gezar zimbe nonda shin zembe zive zendum bar vendu kun mi gendu zenjuru tuji dama kune shurin jiden sum je konjabe tuambe mogarbe jabe tirin dale yenzuru shon jenzo lembe mendombo zeren jave nando ranshin jendu zenzo beji den chombarwi Pema junen dale yenzuru shon gumbulu jo ariyan devadan tome nyen cholan jujida chujun jenam nyen pawaso Zanglin Jencho Nanje Dai Shon Kangi Dala Riba Loba Dan Doji Tenjo Menga Nang Laso Laba Zadan Ungurishin Labe Nguji Tinjen La Menda Shon Namonguru Chinyin Pomen Dunje Shetala Kunja Ranjun Tuje Jimbe Jen Tuji Kalaga Menta Nawa Palden La Meja Jenda Shon Yende Sanje Kundanyam Nayang Kadin Sanje Kunela Bigwen Savila Mishala Swande Asundroye Lamna Chela Jur Kondo Jujur Dongi Jidena and the Shelo Marjur Bakan Soda Tindirdan Bichu Jichabebe Sember de Bantadan Dirshe Namaria Tamba Laike Dan Ludan Jinke Indrubunda Dami Kenam Dan Duakunji Donam Jizambar Tamje Gedo Sosur Tejurji Manjurndwa Namkadang, Yambisim Jen Tamje, Namdul Denji Devala, Name Bayanda Vanzo, Bisanji Jinguaran Berchela, Chine Jamkabra Shah, the Ichedu, Tebachim Bishulu, Zichim Bushivalha, the Niji Chunju Deni Tsushindu, Sene, Nyamsulang Radio, Yamdu Samba Chanchu Chodu Tujavanachi descends house. So, generating the awakened mind by thinking that all the sentient beings equal to its space, motherly sentient beings, to free them from cyclic existence and its cause, and then to kind of like lead them to complete enlightened stage. For this purpose, I'm going to listening this Mahayana scripture composed by Shantideva, The Way of Bodhisattva's Life, and I will going to implement it with that kind of intention, listen this teaching, study this scripture. And additionally, then while listening Dharma teachings, and try not to conceptualize or try not to think any other things, then they just focusing on its voice of the teachings and meaning of its and that's what it means. They listen carefully in an excellent way. That's the excellent way, and try to implant it, the meaning as well as the words, if you are able to. And the actual teaching that we are studying, the way of Bodhisattva's life, which has a 10 chapter and 4 main theme. That the first theme is covered by the first 3 chapter, and then the second is the 4th, 5th, 6th chapter, and then the third theme is covered by 7, 8, and 9 chapter. Then last theme is covered by the 10th chapter. So among those 10 chapter, the how to say 4th theme that we complete the first 2, which is how to kind of like a why and how to generate the awakened mind and receive the Bodhisattva's vow. That's the one theme. And then the second one is after receiving this Bodhisattva's vow and how to maintain without transgressions, and that's also complete. And now today the third theme, which is further how one can develop the Bodhicitta and Mahayana path until ultimately until what stage that one should develop. And that is now the third theme, which is we are studying. And for that third theme, that in order to develop this bodhicitta or this Mahayana spiritual path within oneself, then it requires diligent and meditative concentrations and wisdom. And among these 3, so how to improve diligent by avoiding this laziness. There are 3 types of laziness, and then to the developing those inclinations, or through that how to develop the diligent, which we already studied in 7th chapter. And then now here we are studying the chapter 8, which is how to develop the meditative concentrations. And for this, and there were contrary for this meditative concentrations, which is the craving, mainly the craving towards mundane or the worldly craving. So that is the one, or the desire crave or desire attachment is the biggest contrary to developed meditative concentrations within oneself. So if anyone really wants to develop the meditative concentration within oneself, one must lay it low and gradually eradicate this crave. And then that's also that the crave towards what, that it's elaborate, explained, we already studied. And the lay it low and eradicate the crave towards one's relatives, family members and relatives and friends circle, and also to the reputations and wealth and position and so on, and particularly the gender craving. So this is what it is talking about. Craving towards what? So these three objects. So as long as we have craving towards these three objects, it will going to prevent us, or it will going to obstruct us. It will create obstacles to genuinely that kind of like a develop the meditative concentrations. So therefore, these are the contraries. The first one should understand that in order to develop the meditative concentrations within oneself, and which we already covered. And then after that, and one should rely or depend on those kind of like a solitary place, which naturally help us to avoid many physical and verbal activities. And when there are not something that we can engage into various activity of physical and verbal, then the distractions will going to be reduced by itself a lot. So therefore, so it is steps. The first step is to lay it low or eradicate the craving, and then the second step is to rely or kind of like a depend. How to say? Go to the solitary place, and then third, and then train the meditative concentrations. And then training the meditative concentrations that we can choose. Also, there are various objects that we can train our meditative concentrations to choose. So the here regards to these scriptures that Shantideva recommending or referring to us to choose the object, the way we wanna stabilize our mind is in bodhicitta. So that the to develop meditative concentration both based on this bodhicitta to by, and then to do that, to have such a real genuine bodhicitta and the loving kindness and compassion and bodhicitta, then first one must needs to have the sense or understanding that equalness of self and others. And then we need to train to develop that sense. And then second step is to make it oneself able to exchange with the others. And then the whoever train this two training, then they will going to able to generate the genuine bodhicitta and a stable bodhicitta. And to establish the stable bodhicitta, to establish the genuine bodhicitta within oneself, and then these are the steps that one should train oneself to have a strong sense about equalness of self and others, and able to exchange self and others. And these all how to train this, the train how to train to have a sense of equalness self and others and exchanging self and others. And most of those skills that Shantideva already guided us. And then today here we are at the moment that Shantideva providing some additional method or antidote, particularly antidote. Yes, meditate upon some particular antidote to what you call to make it oneself able to exchange with the others. So those particular antidotes are meditating upon, how to say, changing oneself with the lower person and meditating jealous, and then exchanging oneself with the same level and meditating the rivalry, and then exchanging oneself with the higher person, and then meditating pride. In short, this is something, as I said earlier, that Shantideva was recommending us to meditate those three defilement actually. By meditating these three defiled men, and we will able to see very clear how is these are defilement. So no one wants to touch later on. So he want us to touch so you can feel it, so you will never going to touch again. Some sort of like a how to say, and that when we were baby, that when our parents tell us to don't touch, and we want to touch it, something which is should not touch, like a fire or dirty or poo or whatsoever. So then if the baby or the kids, right, children, doesn't listening or obeying their parents' advice when they say not to touch towards these things, and if they are kind of like a persisting themselves to willing to touch, persisting themselves to willing to touch, then there's no any other choice left for parent rather than let him understand through experience. Then let's say like fire, let him touch fire. Then one time when the children touch the fire, and then after that the children will never going to touch again, even will going to stay away far, that even by seeing it later. So just like this, that if someone telling us, oh, do not jealous, do not rivalry, do not pride, do not feel proud yourself or pride yourself, then we may think this is something like, oh, if I follow this, if I do this, he may get some benefit. Therefore, he's telling me this, do not to do it. So now, Shantideva, okay, now touch it. Okay, do it. If you want to jealous it. If you want to rivalry with someone, rivalry. And if you want to feel pride yourself, pride based on some or whatsoever object that you may want to put it. So that anyway, so brief, mainly these three some particular antidote. So particular antidote are these three things. Like three things means that those jealous, rivalry, and pride that he want us to how to say, understand these are how improper by through our own experience. So therefore he is recommending it. And the main point of this antidote is, as I mentioned before, that to have a genuine sense of bodhicitta, kind of like a caring about others, and these three emotion is also very preventing myself to able to raise the sense of careness of others, myself to generate the bodhisattvas. Because with the jealous, how can I at the same time, how can I the raise the sense of carefulness of others' well-beings. And same way, rivalry and pride. And when these emotion become strong, and these will going to prevent other those positive emotions, or let's call emotions, that other positive emotions will going to be ceased. So therefore, and then to how to meditate that, then so far that we already we are here at the stanza 143, isn't it? Right? 143. So above those two stanzas, 141 and 142, that actually this is the actual antidote that which Shantideva providing for here, that they generate the jealousy. How to generate jealousy? This we already elaborate all these meanings already before, right? That he is the center of attention, I am nothing, and unlike him, I am poor without possession. Everyone looks up to him, despising me. All goes well for him. For me, there's only bitterness. All I have is sweat and drudgery, while he is there sitting at his ease. His great respect in the world, while I am the underdog, a well-known nobody. That's how. So now this is something here. How we should train this, as I told you earlier. Imagine someone who you consider lower than you. And then in front, imagine that person in front. And then later, after that, you goes to his position and let him come to you, take your position, right? Your position. And then now this front, it's become you. Then now that's let that lower person, which is myself, to let it jealous in this way. So we can kind of like feel that, oh, something like jealousing is kind of like a generally jealous is something bad. Everybody understand jealous is bad emotions, but to really test it, so we need to, this is what Shantideva was suggesting, to test really, that to have a conviction that jealous is something very bad, I should not ever generate. So for that purpose, and they were letting us to do these skills, do this trick to meditate upon jealous. That's the actual antidote. And then now from this stanza 143, that is now talking from the another point of view, from even though like jealous is improper, and then now even you look from the another angle, another point of view, the jealous is something unnecessary that you are doing it. To understand how it is unnecessary, that this stanza is telling us how it is very unnecessary, even not just improper, not just very bad, but also how it is very unnecessary for me to generate jealous or to arise jealous towards someone. So to understand that Shantideva was saying, Yönden mepe chishik chas, da kun yönden demba nit, kangwe dimen teyu chi, kangwe techo teyang yes. So as they translated, what a nobody without distinction. Not true. I do have some good qualities. Compare with the some, he is lower down. Compare with the some, I do excel. So this is actually very fact. So higher and lower, mainly here what Shantideva was saying is like this, that higher and lower, right? More educated and less educated, more wealthy and less wealthy, and more kind of how to say, look good and less. These are all dependent, interdependent. There's no such a solid good look there. They are not such a wealthy solid there. There's no such a well educated is exist there. It is all comparative. Depend on with whom you comparing. With whom you comparing. So therefore, it is Shantideva saying that based on a comparing with him, right, the someone who is higher, or compare with him, I may not have those qualities such as a pleasant reputations and fame and reverence, getting reverence from others, and good looking, wealth, and educations, and the wise, intelligent, anything, right? These are all can summarize into qualities. So quality is from the mundane point of view, quality, and spiritual point of view, quality, right? And then from a spiritual point of view, quality, if we talk about, then we can say like compared to him, that kind of like the I may have a less spiritual qualities such as a renunciation, faith, loving kindness, compassion, and bountifulness, and willing to maintain the moral without transgressions, and patience, and the diligence, and stable mind and wisdom, and all this spiritual quality. And then above I mentions all are from the mundane point of view, worldly point of view qualities, right? So compare with him, although I may not have both from the mundane or spiritual those qualities. So, but still, what is point for me to being jealous to him is there. There's no any kind of like a reason or rational is there for me to feel jealous to him, because myself, when I compare with him, I may looks like this, but if I goes to kind of like some other place that where the peoples are similar like me or the lower than me, then I am the one who everybody consider as a educated, as a intelligent, as a wealthy, as a good looking guy or beautiful woman. And then from the spiritual point of view, I am the one who is very faithful and devoted, and the renunciated, and loving kindness person, and compassion person, and all this, right? That kind of things is depend. That I may become be compare with some other. I may become some sort of like a who endowed with all these qualities. So compare with him, even though I may not have all these qualities as he has. But what's the point for me to jealous to him? Because if I compare with some others, I become more quality person. Is it more quality person? It's not really sounds right in English. More, I may become more. What do you call it? How to say? I may have a more character, more qualities, more characteristics than them, right? So therefore, what Shantideva was really trying to let us understand why we should not, why we no need to jealous to someone is this all, whether I am educated, I am good looking, whether I am intelligent, and all these qualities are comparative. So therefore, it is unnecessary for us to worry by just choosing one object and then feeling oneself so weak and lost. we can compare with the some other and feel happy. Compare with the some higher, feel little sad, and compare with the some lower, feel happy, and make it balance in the middle. Yeah, this is something really true, that we can really do it at the same time. Sometimes that if I really feel some sort of like a useless person, I am terrible myself, then I look something. I try to find some who is even loser than me, who is even what do you call it? Even worse than me, and then feel a little bit appreciated myself comparing with them.
Yes, it's a good point.
Definitely, definitely you will find. There's nothing that you cannot find like this in this world. Anyway, so uh, and then also another reason is also Shandideva saying 강왜 디멘 대유진 강왜 다초 강왜 다초 대항요. And then even that person who I believe he's base compared with me, he's much more better than me. But that better is not really solid there, because if that person itself himself compare with some other better person, then he may become the lower one. He may become the lower one, and then I may become the excel one, the supreme one, comparing with some other lower than me. So you see, anyway, so use this trick to 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 experience or to sense that it is pointless for me to have a jealous to anyone. There's a no really solid object there that I can put that as a rational evidence that I can I am deserved to generate jealous. This is the point. Okay, but this kind of things, it very uh, makes sense, and in this world we do this. We do this. Always we'll find someone lower to feel oneself better. Always we will look someone always we wanna, how to say, we wanna look some higher to feel a little bit kind of like a not enough. I am not enough, I must reach there. Will this is how I feel that I am not enough, I have to reach there because I look somebody up there. That person makes me to feel that. And then how I can feel that I am enough and I am very fortunate, by looking at someone who is kind of like a more unfortunate than myself. This is very common. We do this in everyday life, right? When we want to feel satisfied, we look down. When we want to feel like unenough, is it unenough, not enough, then look higher. This we always does, be related with the job, related with the wealth, related with the looking. These are the most in mundane people does these things. Not really education. I don't think people's are less people are worrying about education, and more everybody, almost we can say everybody, most of the time they worry about these things: wealth, looking, and what, I forgot what I said. Three things, right? I forgot myself now. Yeah, so these are the things that we this stanza, the meaning of this stanza, actually we are doing it in our day-to-day life. We are doing it. Now Shantideva, let us look from the different angle that the jealousing towards someone is very unnecessary. To understand how it is unnecessary by contemplating upon in this way. So it helps us to understand how the jealousy is unnecessary. And then now, even now from here, the stanza 144 and 45 and 46, this three stanza. And now again, Shantideva wants us to look from another angle now, from another angle to see how this kind of like the what do you call the conditions can becomes for oneself to generate the jealousy, So it is saying, Tsutim tawa kusoni nyumon topki dawa means. Chinin dani so gote nepang dagi tangdu langs. Wende dandi soja min chichir dala nyeba shes. Dala teyi yondenji chicha dita yondenchen ngendro dubi karnepa dola nyingchi meba di chirla yonden lombai keba dala doa dus. So it goes, my discipline, my understanding have declined, but I am helpless, ruled by my defilement. As much as he is able, he should cure me. I will submissive even to his punishment. The fact is he does nothing of the sort. By what right then does he belittle me? Belittle me? What use then are his qualities to me, those qualities of which he so possessed? Indifferent to the plight, is it? Yes. To the plight of living beings who treat the brink of evil destinies. He makes an outward show of virtues and even want to weigh with the sage. So now this three stanza, Shantideva want us to look from the different angles. So the different angle is like this. So it is the my discipline and my understanding have declined, that my discipline and my view and my and all this whatsoever we can call the qualities. Here it talks, the word directly, it talks from the spiritual point of view, right? So the my discipline and my views are declined, but I am helpless because I am ruled by my defilement. My defilements are become so strong, therefore I lose my view, I lose my discipline. I lose my discipline. And this my habits of afflictive emotions are so strong, that's why I become helpless, right? Helpless. As much as he able. So if he is, now this is it saying, if he is really considering himself is better than me, then as much as he able, he should cure me. He should do something for me. I am here helpless, right? I'm here helpless. I need help. If you consider better than myself, then you should help. If you have more quality than me, and share your quality, and then make me get out from this trouble. If you do that, if so, then I will submissive, even to your punishment. Even you will scold, I will listen. Even you beat, I will accept it. Even you'd order many other things, I will obey. Submissive, right? Submissive, in short, submissive. I will be submissive even to your punishment, right? And then scoldings and beatings, this goes without saying now, right? But in fact, the fact is, he does none of it. He does none of it trying to cure me. I am here helpless. And he himself considering having some sort of like a better quality than me, better kind of education than me. But if that's the case, he should provide some help. If you provide help, I may submissive even your punishment. But the fact is, he does nothing of it. Nothing of the sort, right? Nothing of the sort. If you are not doing anything, then by what right then does he belittle me? Because what's the use all this you're educated and qualities to me? It is useless for me. Right? It is useless for me. So this is something improper that kind of like a belittle on me. Belittle on me. Being belittle on me is something you don't deserve, because you didn't contribute anything to me. What you have a right to belittle on me? You don't have any right to belittle on me. Yeah, that's what it's saying. What use then are his qualities to me, right? Even though he's better quality than me, but what's the use his qualities to me? And now here, the point the Shantidevas talks from here. Now, this is now actually one way of it is saying like that. So, if I am considering better than him, then I really should have that willing and sense to contribute something to him. I should use my quality to help others. If the person who does not have that kind of sense, the person who does not have willing to contribute something to others who does not have, and highly likely these type of person will definitely going to generate the jealous to someone who is higher than them. So their quality is not really even helping to them. That's what it means. Their quality is actually even not helping to them. It's not contributing anything to me, as well as he is failed to contribute to himself as well. By how? Here, then it goes. Those quality of which he so possessed, indifferent to the plight of living beings, who treat the brink of evil destiny, he makes an outward show of virtue. The person who does this kind of like a, what do you say, who does this dissimulate, right? Dissimulate or hypocrisy, right? And those will definitely going to do this, and even wants to weigh with the sage. means jealous. His quality is not helping himself either. Those type of person will definitely going to wage, how to say, and even wants to weigh with the sage. Why with the sage? That will going to definitely, he will going to end up doing this. You see, now, it doesn't contribute anything to me. It doesn't contribute anything to himself either. And instead, that quality becomes him to generate even further jealous. You see, hasn't it become? Now, this from this angle, what Shantideva really saying that if I am considering myself have a better quality than someone, then that quality I should use as a kind of like a, what do you call it? Triggering machines for my mental to willing to contribute to them. Instead, looking down and doing nothing. That's what Shantideva mean. If you just looking down on them, doing nothing, that means when you are fail to trigger your mental to willing to contribute your quality to someone, you just keeping all your qualities, means those type of person definitely will going to do another jealous towards looking at some person who is better quality than themselves, right? So it is useless. Again, Shantideva was saying it is useless. Quality doesn't fulfill any purpose, both to me and to himself. So what to do with the quality? What's the point of having all this quality? Yeah. So that is the third angle, from the different angle. So anyway, that main antidote is the kind of like a stanza 141 and 42. This is the main. And then next, that Shantideva wants to look from the even from the different angle to understand how it is necessary to jealous and how it is useless for having the qualities if one unable to contribute to someone or help to someone who is helpless. So, where is it? Yeah. So that therefore, kind of like in short now, the jealousing to someone, it's very unnecessary and the improper and unnecessary. So therefore, by using those skills, antidotes, try to lay it low, our jealous emotion, and then make it more able to exchange one with others and try to put other as a priority always. That's the point. And then goes next one from this stanza 147. So now the second antidote, that meditate upon rivalry. Now from here he's letting us meditate upon rivalry. So how he is letting us? Dada nyamla tene ni kangi rangit lajichir dagi nyedan kurdini tsebai yang yebar drupes. So so now from this 147 stanza, meditate rivalry by exchanging with the equals. Equals means someone who you consider, who you feel the same educated and same kind of like a good looking, same wealthy, similar richness or whatsoever. If the poor, same poor. If the middle class, same middle class. If the rich, same rich. Okay. Anyway, equal. And then looking, these are all from the mundane point of view. And then a spiritual point of view, also those are equal. That I might exile outstepping him regarded as my peer and equal. In contrast, I will certainly secure my fame and fortune, public renown. So this is really we does, right? We do in our day-to-day life. Kind of like if I feel somebody who is equal as me, then putting them as my object, I really want to go further ahead of this person. Uh, I want to become more, not, I don't want to remain in a equal. I want to become more advanced than him, right? And then in order to become advanced, or what to say, advanced? In order me to become more advanced than him, uh, so for that purpose, that this what do you call it, fame and fortune and public renown and all of this, even though I may need to fight with him through my argue, I should get it, all these things. Even I need to do this, I will not going to hesitate to do this. Right? That's rivalry. Is it rivalry?
Yeah.
Rivalry? Yeah. So that's how. Now, this is something Shandideva letting us imagine first somebody who is considering, I'm considering equal, right? And then exchange myself with him, put myself on his position and let him take my position, right? Let him take my position. Now look at him. The he is become my object. The he is me actually. Me is him, right? So now I am doing this and you are taking this. You are taking it, this. What you are taking is that I might excel outstepping him regarded as my peer and equal. In contest, I will certainly secure my fame and fortune, public renown. If someone rivaling in this way to you, how you will going to feel? Right? Do you understanding this exchanging? When you look from this angle, you see better how rivalry is very improper, very unnecessary. When we do not look from this angle, normally in the worldly point of view, everybody feels this is fair. This is how world is. This is how world it is. This is what you should do in order to achieve what you want. This is very normal according to mundane point of view. This is what you should do it actually. If you do not know how to do this, you are useless in world. Right? You are useless in world. This, we think all this because we outlook. We never inwardly. We never look inward. So, when we do this to others, we feel this is something as it is. But when someone does this to me, then get mad and anger, right? In a job, this is really happening in a kind of like a workplace and everything, right? Even with my sister, it happens. Like they, what do you call it? In their workplace, kind of like the becoming, what do you call it, promote, get promote and become senior, yeah, more senior. When you, how much you become more senior, that much your wage it will going to increase, right? And then they have competition for the for the senior. And then how to become right? And then there, when some position become vacant up there, then somebody needs to take place. Who will going to take place based on a seniority, right? If I only work like 1,000 hours and then someone 1,001, so he deserve to go there, right? So this is normally, it's fair. It's fair because he worked more than me, so he deserved that place. Somehow, in a, even looks like in a, even in a workplace, they have a lot of kind of like a zigzag is there. Ajibaji. Yeah, Ajibaji is there. Ajibaji is there. My sister lost two opportunities. And third opportunity, and she speak up. And then I think she got it. I told her when that happened, speak up is no problem. You should speak up. But make sure you don't get anger or some sort of like a willing to hurt that person. Just do based on a fact, and then you speak up. No problem. But this is also challenge for us to do in this way, handle in this way the situation. You know, when the conduct, the manner, when you do it, the manner itself will force you to feel anger. Manner itself will become very close conditions to generate anger. This is really tricky. But if we are able to do without that emotion, then that's fine. That's fine. That's okay. But that is difficult. I'm not saying this is easy. But if we are able to do that, then that's okay. So, anyhow, my point here is that when we do this to other, we feel, oh, this is how world works. Whoever's smart, they will do this. But when it really happens to me, then I will raise so many questions to myself and to others. I will, then it is something like we don't view as this is world. No, then at that time, I'm not saying this is world. I'm not saying this is how it is. No, this is not how it is. When I do this to someone, I can feel this easily. But when someone does this same things to me, at that time I cannot feel that this is how as it is. Then I may start arguing or fighting and anything. But maybe we can still say maybe arguing back and fighting is as it is again. If you become tricky, as it is. This is also as it is. Anyway, so as it is, as it is. If we say like this, if we say this behave is as it is, and there's a no way that this world will going to become better. And definitely this concept, mindset, that thinking this behave is as it is, it will pulling this world, country, everything down. We think this is something like develops oneself and countries and world. The fact, this is, I think, very misunderstanding that many people has it. To improve myself, to, how to say, to um, what do you call it, to make myself better, rivalry is not needed. I can just do it without sense of rivalry. Why we have to have that sense of rivalry? Who made that law that you should have it in order you to become better? It's not law. It's not kind of like a universal law either. It's not something necessary at all. But we feel this is as it is. This is something, it comes naturally. We normally talk about, when we describe this to the, when we talk, conversate about this is, we say, as it is. I have to do this. I have no choice. As it is. Rivalry. So the rivalry is not necessary, but maybe the manner or the kind of like a speaking up may be necessary, but the rivalry is not necessary. Here Shantideva talking about rivalry. You do not need rivalry. You don't need that emotion. That emotion is the one which prevent us to develop the loving kindness and compassion. And if prevent us to develop loving kindness and compassion, then bodhicitta goes without saying. So that is the point that Shantideva was saying. So normally, okay, so that's what we do, right? And likewise, in a rivalry, what also we does is the next one. Chinen dagi yönden jigden kun la sawa da sheyan te yönden kan sujang tobar mejur shas. So in a competition, in a rivalry, what also we does is, by every means I will advertise my gift to all the world, ensuring that his qualities remain unknown, ignored by everyone. that's that behave is also comes out of rivalry, competition, sense of competition, comparing, right? When we want to compare with someone, when I want a rivalry to someone, then I may end up doing this. And this is okay. You have a right to advertise your gift to the world. It's okay. But you do not have a right ensuring that his quality remain unknown and ignored by everyone. That you do not have a right to do it. This is problem now. The first two line is not big problem. It's not a problem. Even I can say it's not a problem. The second two lines makes this all mess. And likewise, my faults I will conceal, dissimulate. For I, not he, right? For I, but not for him, right? Not he. He will be the object of devotion. I not. He will gain position and renown. I will be the center of attention. You got it? Yeah, these are actually not so difficult. That's how this all behave, or the attitude or the manners will going to bring up by sense of rivalry, which is something very unnecessary. Dagi kyoyan bash dani chujur tela means. Date nyepa lenyechi dani kurjur tela means. And also, dene marung chebala yurin dane gaveta drua kunji shige dan pension meba dadu shas. So out of rivalry emotion, we also end up doing this. So I will take such satisfaction in his evil deeds and degradation, right? I will render him despicable, the butt and laughing stock of everyone. See, so the now all this, when I do to someone, I don't really feel this is something wrong. Yeah, in a mundane sense, many people does this in their job place, as I mentioned earlier. They do this, right? And then I think also in schools, universities, colleges, and job place, and for the political, absolutely then. And business also does this, right? Let's say I have a burger store and someone open near me another burger store. Then I may end up doing all these things. And I may feel this is how it is if you want to do business. If I want to do business, I have no choice. I have to do this. I have to compare with his burger. See, although, as I said earlier, although kind of like from the, okay, now here, this is very good in English that they say, one part of me, one part of me, when I do this to others, one part of me saying this is wrong, and another part of me saying there's no any other option rather than doing it. This is this is how this is something Ani here doesn't want to agree with it. I don't know how about all of you. Huh? Normally people does this to other when, as I give you example, right? I have a burger store here, and then right beside me somebody open burger store, right? Burger store. If they open right beside, they will going to end up doing this. That's why McDonald's are not opening beside each other. Tim Hortons are not opening beside each other. And banks are not opening beside each other. No, not same company bank. Even bank is different company, completely. Not two TD bank opening right at the beside each other. No, that's what I'm saying. If you open, this will going to be happen. That's why they careful. Here now, that's the same thing. Like we can see this very clear. That's the whole reason behind why they are not opening right beside each other. McDonald's are not opening right beside. Tim Hortons are not opening right beside. TD Banks are not opening right beside. And then what else? So many Burger Kings. I don't know what to say now. Even those the restaurants, right? Like the cage. These are not opening right beside each others. Even the gas stations, they don't open the right beside. No, not same company. I'm talking about same company, right? Shell. No, that's company totally. It has almost like a kilometer distance. Anyhow, so Ani doesn't want to accept that. But I feel this is normally what mundane people uh, kind of like when I does this to someone, then one part of me saying that this is not good, but one part of me saying there's no any other option. If I want to grow my business, I have to do this. Yeah, this is what, right? But now, but now, when I does this to someone, I feel this one, right? I have two part in my oneself. There's a two part saying different things. But now imagine this same attitude behave. If the other burger store does this to me, then do I have a two part? Then at that time, do I have a two part? No, I have only one part. This part is missing. I will not going to say that, oh, he have no other options rather than doing it. I will going to remove this sense. I will going to keep this one that's saying this is really improper. Why he have to rivalry to me? Why he have to compare to me? I will just keep this part, you see. When it comes to me, then it becomes different. You see, that's why Shantideva here, change and then imagine. If you do not change, I am doing this to other. As I told you earlier, I will have this two part. One part of me saying this and another part of me saying this. This two is contradicting, actually contradicting. There's no way to stay in one. But we want to keep both of them in a one. And more likely, more strong this one, the left hand one, right? I have no choice rather than I have to do this in order for me to grow my business. This is one example. Like that, many other situations with us. But when how I did to someone exactly same thing when someone does to me, then I will not going to keep these two things, two part then. I will going to get rid of this part completely and keeping this very strong and high. Oh, this is improper. You see, when we imagine in this way, then we can see, we can kind of like have a conviction, 100% sure that rivalry is not good. If we do not exchange and imagine, then it's not 100% sure. We cannot get this conviction this rivalry is wrong. You see, with the sense of rivalry, not understanding it is wrong, then who will going to think that this is something I should get rid of? If it is not wrong, if I am not confident this is wrong, why I have to get rid of this? I can keep it for my benefit. We feel this is benefiting me anyway. It's not really benefiting, but I'm feeling this is benefiting me. So which is something I feel I'm benefiting myself, why I have to get rid of? If I do not have conviction, 100% sure that this is wrong, right? And when I am maintaining this sense of rivalry, at the same time, generate loving kindness to that burger store owner, generate compassion to that burger store owner, generate bodhicitta to that burger store owner, forget it, right? And that's why here this Shantideva want us to understand with the full of conviction this sense of rivalry is wrong. So to have that conviction, we should imagine with the exchanging. If we do not look from this angle, we will not going to see clearly. That's why he wants us to imagine someone who is equal as you, and then exchange, and then do rivalry, and then feel it how it looks like. You understand? And then now same third idea is also similar. Okay, now from here, the stanza 151, it is kind of like a Shantideva's providing the third antidote to lay it low and eradicate the pride, emotion pride. Now that emotion pride, how the method or skill he is showing is to, again, same idea. Imagine someone who is higher than you, who I consider higher than myself. Imagine in front. And then after that, put myself into his position, let him take my position. And then feel pride, how it sounds like, how it looks like. You can sense it then. When I am doing this to someone who is lower than me, I cannot really clearly sense that I should not be proud of it, pride on him. Is it on him or what? How to say? I should not be proud of him, right? Proud of him? Yeah, not really. I should not be proud.
Usually pride is you talk about it as it's a personal quality.
Yeah. But it is also based on a someone, right? It is also based on a someone.
Shouldn't be jealous.
Not jealous, actually. This is talking about pride. Anyway, so first imagine this, somebody I consider who is higher than me, and then later I exchange myself, put into his position, and let him take my position, and then now generate pride on me, right? In this way, here now. Nyumon diyan dada ne lenji tu ne drenje tas. Deda tödan sherabam surik norji nyamam cheese. So this is how everyday life many people does. Interesting here now. See, people say this pitiful nonentity is trying to compete with me. But how can he be on a par? On a par? Pair with me, par with me. In what regards he is comparing? In learning, in beauty, in wealth, or pedigree? From what he is trying to comparing with me now? You see, this is pride, right? This is pride. So now, here, this person doing this on me, how am I feel now? He's looking at me and telling me that from what point you trying to compare with me? From the learning? From the beauty? Good looking? Right? And from the wealth? Richness? From the pedigree? Pedigree. From which angle you are trying to compare with me? Hello, baby. Right? Hello, baby. Just stay as you are, right? Looking down. Just stay where you are. You cannot compare with me. This is I'm generating sense of pride, right? This is again same thing. When I does this to someone, I don't really feel 100%ly this is something wrong. But when I change, and then let him do this to me, then I really feel that he is something terrible person. Yeah, you see, even in those politics now, when we are looking at him, look very seeing very strange, right? His behave, way of talking, and everything, but he himself not seeing it because he didn't exchange and looking from our point of view. He filled with the full of pride by himself, never trying to look from the other's point of view, talking everything, telling everything, doing everything. They are very obvious example in this world, even today, pleasant, right? Present. Somebody who is filled with the pride, right? Kind of like influenced by pride, all their body and mind inflated by pride. When we look, how we feel strange, right? We look very, oh, this guy, poor guy. But he never feel himself poor guy. He never feel himself poor guy because he didn't exchange and he didn't try to put his position on me and then look back to himself. That's why here now, right? Tetar kun la chaba I dagi yonden tönene pudang gawa ke jurbi tegilani yonsu choose. And then I am enjoying myself by doing this, which is something. And after that, this goes together. Just to hear them talk about my excellence, my reputation on the lips of all other beings, other people, right? All, right? Lips of all. And then I should feel myself, the thrill of it sends shivers down my spine, a pleasure that I bask and revel in. That's how normally we feel pride. And let someone feel and express his feeling in this way to me, and how I will going to feel, right? Then I think I will definitely going to feel this is terrible person. I don't know. And then chiden dila nye yo kyang kalde ngai leshe na dila chowa chamjine dagi topji te langsha. And then also even generating pride in this way. Even if he does have something, I am the one he's working for. He can keep enough just to survive, but with my strength, I will steal the rest away. That's happening in the world now. So you see now, this all three stanzas meaning, when someone applies on me, then I feel very terrible. 100%. Clearly, right? But sometimes unknowingly, I may doing this to someone, noticingly or unnoticingly. I may doing this attitude or behave to someone. See, I know I should not be proud ever, all the time. But I may end up doing it without of my awareness. Maybe with aware or maybe not with awareness. But it is difficult for me to have 100% conviction this is something wrong. In order for me to have this is something 100% wrong, then imagine someone who is higher in front of you. Then exchange with yourself. Then let him do all this attitude and behave on me. How am I going to be feel? That way I can have 100% sense of conviction that being pride on someone is completely wrong. I should never ever do it. That way in this way I can see the clear picture of faults of pride. That's why Shanadeva let us imagine in this way, And then I think this next stanza, even they translate it into this way. I think this shouldn't be this way. This is kind of like, I think it is concluding. It is concluding stanza for all of those three stanzas. No, antidote. All of those three above antidote. I think, okay? But that dinin dele nyamjashing dagi nedang ta jarja de yacha thamje du kurwar dal nebashe. But how they translate it here? I will wear his happiness away. I will always hurt and injure him. He is the one who in samsara did me mischiefs by the 100. What do you understand from this stanza? Huh? Yeah, okay, self-clinging. So, I will wear his happiness away. And I will always hurt and injure him. He is okay, so now the third two lines is this one, is the one that's why I think this should be different meaning. That he is the one who in samsara did me mischiefs by hundreds. Huh? What my ego?
He's the one. It's that ego thing. That's the only one that's got the power to do that. He's the one.
Who is he?
That ego thing.
Oh, okay. Yeah, if you are taking it this way. Okay, anyway, let me explain here. I will wear his happiness away. So this I here. Dini dele nyamshashi. Actually, in Tibetan word, there's no I in the first line. Dini dele nyamjashi means these will degenerate my pleasant. These will degenerate pleasant. Yeah. These will degenerate pleasant. Now, these should go referring to this jealous, rivalry, and pride, ego. These jealous, rivalry, ego is degenerating my pleasant. And I will always hurt and injure him. And because of these three emotions, I will always hurt and injure myself. And he is the one who in samsara did me mischief by the hundreds. And these three emotion is the one who did me mischiefs by the hundreds of different ways to harm or to hurt me in the cyclic existence. I think this stanza is kind of like a conclusion. So the now Shantideva is concluding after providing all these three different antidotes. And now this is concluding that if anyone carries these three emotions, then they will going to ruin their own pleasant, they will going to hurt themselves always, constantly, right? Constantly. And not just within this life, ruin my pleasant and constantly harming myself, but also in a future, hundreds of lifetime, it will going to pull me into stay into cyclic existence. In that way, these three emotions will going to be harmed myself. I think this should be taken in this way. He is the one who in samsara did me mischiefs by the hundred. Make sense, no? Okay, so maybe we should stop here today. So now with this kind of like a Shantideva completed all the skills and methods to to how to develop or improve the capable to exchange with the others. If we are able to lay it low and eradicate these emotions, then there's no other country left for me to able to exchange with the others. Then I can put other as a priority easily if I remove all these things. Right? If I apply all those above and above skills that Shantideva provided before, and then today's teaching these three antidotes, if, if I am able to see all those main three emotions which preventing me to put other as a priority, then there's no any other preventional
Barrier,
other barrier,
barrier or causes.
yeah, other barrier or causes me to put other as a priority.
No excuses.
Hmm?
No excuses.
No excuses. Anyway, so okay, so thank you. If you have question, we can discuss a little bit. We have still 10 minutes. If no, then go rest. No question means enlightened.
Oh,
That's good.
no doubt.
Anyway, okay, then we'll do dedicate. Oye sunam de tanje ziba nyin topne nye be danam panje ne shega nanji wala tubai sibi tsole ndowa shu jambal bawe jidra kemban dang kundu zambo te yan de jende te da kunjin jesu da lo jin gewan de da tamje rabdungu Yewan di she okun, Sönam yeshe tsozo ne, Sönam yeshe le chungwe, Tamba kunyin tobrash, Sanje kusum nyebe chen lam dan, Chenye menjur dembe chen lam dan, Kendin meche dembe chen lam ji, Jidrangwa melam drabarshu. Read in English. By this beneficial activity may I obtain omniscience, and having vanquished the harmful enemies, greed, anger, delusion, may I liberate all being tossed about helplessly by the waves of birth, aging, illness, and death in the ocean of becoming. By conforming to the knowledges of courageous Manjushri, Jambulyang, and in the same way as Samandapatra, Kuntusambo, and following their example, I dedicate perfectly all this virtue. By this virtue may all being perfectly achieve the accumulation of merit, Swanam, and wisdom, Yeshe, and may they thereafter obtain the two holy bodies which result from this two accumulation. By the blessing of the Buddha, Sanjay, who obtained the three bodies, by the blessing of the immutable truth of the Dharmada, Journey, by the blessing of the infallible aspiration of the Sangha, Gendun, may this prayer of dedication be accomplished just as it is. Thank you. Have a good day.
Thank you, Tuko.
See you